So here's an interesting topic regarding the history of markets, money, finance, and so forth. So actually, first of all, today silver is about 21.50. Some people think that it's going to go to 23 because of supply and demand of mines and things like that. It could. I don't know. I'm just repeating what I heard. But silver is up right now, August 13, 2013, compared to recent times. And of course, the future is different than the present. But going back to this kind of question about like free markets and so forth, right? You hear things like, I just heard a quote that said that free markets and sound money led to Athens' prosperity. So kind of like my philosophical question is it a free market when a huge portion of the economy is based upon slaves and slavery? Well, I guess if you're a citizen of Athens and you can own slaves, maybe it's a free economy or a free market for you, but for the general population of Athens, it's not a free market, because obviously if you're a slave, you're not getting to participate in all aspects of the economy. So, using a search engine here, DuckDuckGo is a search engine that supposedly is much more secure than Google, because Google has saved every single search that's ever been done on their engine, and they track information and so forth. And DuckDuckGo apparently is there's more privacy in that, but of course, if it goes on the internet, the NSA knows about it, and probably others know about it. So any internet activity, of course, others know about. So going back to this topic of freedom and slavery, okay, so I'm reading here how in some periods of ancient Athens, the average household averaged 3 to 4 slaves. And other times in Athens history, there's a higher average of slaves, other times a lower average of slaves. But basically, when you look at the amount of slaves in Athens, you can say it was a big part of their economy. Because those slaves did things. They made things, they produced things, they did services. Because obviously someone doesn't own a slave for the same reason as owning a cat, right? When someone owns a slave, they put them to work. It's an economical thing the slave owner is doing. For the slave owner, it's an economic transaction where they get more wealth than they put into it. So going back to the economy as a whole, can you call it a free market economy if most of the people living in that economy are slaves? Because even though perhaps the slave owners might be having a free market among themselves, if most of the head count is slaves, and the slaves are contributing a huge part of the economy, can you call it a free market economy? So that's kind of like a philosophical question I have there. And I know Chief Justice Koch, one of my favorite YouTubers, he always has interesting thoughts on this, and he studied history. He talks about this stuff too. But yeah, I mean, when I'm listening to others on YouTube talk about the history of money and finance and economies, a lot of times you have to look at the history yourself, because a lot of times they'll talk about the free markets of Athens, but they won't say, hey, well, most people in Athens were slaves at certain times. Maybe at other times they weren't. But slavery was such a huge part of it. I think another philosophical argument about, well, is there a free market when most of the participants in the economy are slaves? Okay, thanks for watching.